everyone, Alexis here. It's Tidbit Tuesday, and for today I'm going to be showing you how to practice the jump forward from downward facing dog to the top of the mat. It's a transition that we take a lot in vinyasa classes. You'll hear the teacher to cue to step or jump to the top of the mat. Jumping is by no means a necessity in the practice, but it is fun, and it also can help the practice flow a little bit better. So what I'll do first is show what I often see happen, then I'll show the correct way to do it, and then I'll show it along with some props that can really help you to get the feeling of jumping forward so you can practice it that way when you're taking class. So if we start from downward facing dog, you'll generally hear the teacher cue, bend the knees, jump forward, or maybe lift up onto toes, bend knees, jump forward. What happens first is that often when people hear bend knees, they think bend knees, drop hips. If this sort of movement happens and you try to jump forward, there's nowhere to go, right? Your butt lands down and you kind of almost land onto your heels. So the second thing that happens is even if the students bend the knees properly, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second, is that they drop their hips when they jump forward. And this is often sometimes because of fear or the mental aspect of it. So when we do bend our knees, what we want to do is, it's a little bend in the knees, but then we press into the hands so the ribs come closer to the thighs. If you notice here, it's like I could launch forward, right? Like I'm almost loading a spring to jump rather than down here where I don't have any momentum to get forward. So it's almost like you're in a bent knee downward facing dog. So ideally you want to keep your hips high, which is what creates the space to jump forward. But like I said, sometimes it gets a little bit scary, so people have the correct bend in the knees, but then they jump forward and they still kind of land downward, okay? So the idea is to bend your knees a little bit, send your ribs back towards your thighs, but keep the hips high. So it looks more like this when you jump forward. Okay, notice my hips stay up nice and high. So for a lot of people, even if they're not thinking about it, it's a pretty scary movement because all of your weight and momentum is coming forward and you feel this shift into your fingertips, which is a little bit scary, like you're gonna keep moving forward. So what I would recommend is, first of all, when we're jumping forward, there's a lot of core activation. It's not something we often think about. We just think like, let me get my feet up to my hands. But if you, like I said, bend the knees, look forward, and activate the core, it creates a little bit more space to keep the hips lifted. The next thing that happens is that we might not have the space in our shoulders, or at least not initially, while we're trying to get used to this whole movement at once. So what I really recommend is that people use blocks. I actually like the cork blocks a little bit more because the foam ones aren't quite as stable, but they're just fine if that's what you have. So you want to use 2 blocks, and you want to make sure that they're on the lowest height. Remember, blocks have the low height, the medium height, and the high height. You're going to want to make sure they're on their lowest height. Every time that you're in down dog, when you're practicing this in class, you'll be in down dog, and then if you know the teacher's about to bring you forward to the top of the mat, you grab your blocks, line the long edge of the block up with the long edge of the mat, okay? And then you take your jump forward. What this does, you can see how much further I came forward with almost no effort, is it creates the space and the lift for your legs to actually move forward. So again, I'll show it one more time. If you're in downward facing dog, grab your blocks, bend the knees. Notice I keep my hips high, look forward where you want to go, hop. And then we come to inhale, halfway lift, exhale, fold. Okay? So that's the jumping forward in the vinyasa. If you have more questions about that, let us know, or shoot us an email or leave us a comment. Have a great day, guys.